The jury selection process was slow and methodical, but we now have one set in a wrongful death case out of Gallatin. It pits a nursing home here in town against the family of an 89-year-old woman who died in their care from COVID back during the pandemic.
Every time I talked to her, she would tell me, I'm just not feeling good. I'm just not feeling good.
Debbie's mother, Ruth Summers, had been a resident at the Gallatin Center for Rehabilitation and Healing for a little less than a year when the pandemic began. Back in 2020, Bolton told us the facility didn't really look into her mother's health concerns until she got persistent with them.
So for a week, she was sick.
Yes, ma'am.
Was she isolated?
No, ma'am.
After she was tested, Summers tested positive and was taken by ambulance to Sumner Regional Medical Center. She died in isolation a few days later.
If I'd have known that day that was the last day I was going to see her, I'd have took her home with me that day.
Bolton is now suing the Gallatin nursing home, alleging staff and administration failed to isolate patients with COVID, required employees with COVID symptoms to still work, and tried to cover up infections. But attorneys representing the nursing home plan to argue that the facility followed CDC guidelines at the time of the outbreak, and that unfortunately, given the nature of the pandemic at the time, preventing an outbreak in a skilled nursing home facility was nearly impossible. In all, 161 residents and staff members there at the facility ended up getting COVID. Nearly 24 passed away. Now, all those families are also suing the facility, but they're in a separate lawsuit, meaning they will be watching this lawsuit incredibly closely. In Gallatin, Chris Davis, News Channel 5.